Elden Ring PVP. So, I don't do PvP that often. Well, I've started to. It's my first Souls game doing the PvP properly. I don't really dip my toes in the past, like a little bit into Dark Souls 3. I know people say Dark Souls 2 is the best one, but Dark Souls 2 is my first Souls game, and hell no was I gonna hell no was I gonna do PvP in that one. Shit was hard when I first played. This was before Scholar of the First King, so remember that, what, the forest of the giants or something? Remember that gank location at the top of the stairs? Shit was stressed. No way I'm gonna have an invader fucking with me during that. But anyway, I do get people's complaints about PvP in this game. You know, I think a mix between you know, sorceries, incantations being absolute nukes. There's so many spells that are insanely damaging in comparison to previous games. I mean, the range on some of them is mad. So I can understand people having issues with that. It's something to get used to in comparison to previous games. But the main issue over duels and stuff like that is invasions. That's what everyone's really complaining about, and I get it. Kind of agree with them. I know it didn't do a lot of damage, but I never realized that that beast shotgun was so reliable. Like, I use it sometimes. I'm pretty sure I've got it on this build, but I never saw it really being used as a kill confirm. I always used it just to stagger or just to, you know, annoy someone. Alright, we got an invasion. We got the Redan twins, both wearing the same helmet, running around like headless chickens, being chased by, can't remember what those, duelists? Yeah, shadow duelist. Really, the cowardly play here is what fucked them. Yeah, you're doomed once that guy turns up, once that grafted bitch turns up, so good luck. I mean, if they weren't playing cowardly, they might have had a chance. Between two strong AI enemies and me, there was no chance. It's life. But yeah, this exposes the issue a little bit with invasions. That was a good place for an invader. You know, you've got some tight corridors, you've got windy paths to take, you've got AI enemies, you can actually corner people or chase people into bad locations. That's not an option in 99% of invasions. Most invasions are happening out in open fields where you're kind of just exposed. You're an invader spawning in pretty much always against co-opers, since, you know, FromSoftware made it that way. So it's now just me spawning in like a sitting duck with two, sometimes more, you know, people to fight against. And people aren't morons. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to follow you into a danger zone. Caelid's okay sometimes, because you can kind of dupe people into, you know, rolling all the way into one of those giant birds or giant dogs, but most people aren't idiots. They're just going to sit there until you come to them and it's a glorified duel. And you can see what happened with this guy. I mean, I got summoned, and I thought it was only fair to leave it. It was a 1v1, whoever wins, wins. But second hunter isn't so nice, and once you get to this point, it's over for you. You're in the middle of a field with 2 players, and assuming they're both at least semi-competent, they're gonna kill you. You have no hope. You know, flashback to the invasion we had a second ago, and if there were 2, I mean, it was a 2v1, I know they were fucked in a bad situation. Even if those big enemies didn't gank them, I could still have run around that whole dungeon, you know, weaving in and out of areas just to make things difficult for them. Even if I lost at the end, it would have been more of a fair fight. You can at least say that. So this was my original character, my first playthrough. It's like It was originally just like a pure, well, yeah, pretty much a pure dex build other than the strength needed to wield like some curved great swords or something. And then halfway through I realized that magic, or having like at least mid-range options, was pretty beneficial sometimes. So then once I found out about the Dragon Communion seal or whatever it's called, I just pumped some arcane, and then occult scaling came through, and yeah, I think I was dual wielding Uji katanas, or whatever it's called, the katanas to begin with, and then you get Rivers of Blood, so obviously you're doing the classic meme strat that you then find out that everyone's doing. So I moved away from that because it felt cheesy for PvP, but I got a strength build going. Yeah, this one's a bit of a weird one. I mean, there's all of the spectacle, jumping around, doing all these attacks, Ashes of War, spells and shit, but when it comes down to it, I think people forget how to react to just basics. So yeah, you know, all of that, all of those powerful moves for what at the end of the day? If you can't beat a couple of R1s, what does it matter? I mean, sure, I had bleed, but I don't think that would have made much of a difference.
Hey.
So we're going to finish with my favorite duel of the day. You know, honor and integrity and all that. Bows and hellos said beforehand. So this isn't a particularly, you know, crazy duel. It's pretty short, but it's my favorite purely based on this one occurrence. The damage trading. He just, because I knew I could do more damage than he could with the catch flame. So I just let it happen. I just let it happen, and it took him 3 hits. It took him 3 hits before you realized that maybe that wasn't worth, you know, sitting there and getting jawed over and over and over again. Let's see that again, actually.